Video games at their core are meant to be experiences to be enjoyed. After all, we choose to spend our free time and not so free money on them, so literally they class as entertainment. Now, what form that entertainment takes is down to the player's desires. You might want an arcade Twitch shooting experience or a deep and methodical plot through an RPG, but whatever the case, they are there to be enjoyed. And yet, so many titles end up eliciting the opposite reaction. From player bases who are cruel to each other and newcomers to titles that reward you for playing like a dick, there are video games out there that really do make you hate yourself and everyone around you. So let's take a look. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 8 video games that will make you hate everyone. Number 8. Fall Guys. You know that sound that the jelly bean monstrosities of Fall Guys make when they're bouncing off platforms, slipping on slime, or just plummeting to their deaths? That weird, warbling laughter? Well, that haunts my bloody dreams. And the reason why this jolly jingle cuts through me like butter is because Fall Guys is the most sadistic, candy-coated experience that I've ever played. In what can only be described as playing Takeshi's Castle while drunk, Fall Guy challenges you to be the last bean standing across a series of challenges. And while things start off fun, before long, you'll see the truth, that every other player is an absolute twat. There's no teamwork, there's no camaraderie, it is survival of the shittest, and people are prepared to do anything to get that crown. Hacking is one thing, and that thing is also pathetic, but another more common example is waiting at the end of the stage to grab and push players off. Oh, how I loathe thee. And yet, I can't stop playing. Number 7. Among Us. Trust. It's such an important bond that exists between loved ones, firm friends, and family members, and it's likely to be only felt when it's called into question. It's a comforting factor that makes you feel safe knowing that a select few out there will fight your corner when the chips are down. Well, Among Us teaches you to abandon all of this. Safety is an illusion, trust is a fallacy, and those friends that once had your back are now stabbing you in it. Now you're running on pure instinct, trying to sift through the lies and accusations in an effort to root out the imposters from the crew, and quite honestly, if you can make it through a play session without feeling a deep sense of hatred for the rest of the group, you've not had the Among Us experience. Never has it been so fun to be betrayed, and while it might leave you feeling saltier than a fisherman's face, you'll know that deep down it's only a matter of time before you're on the imposter side and free to run amok. Number 6. Super Mario 35. Now, in all honesty, I could have put any Battle Royale experience here and call it a day simply because your only real enemies are other humans, and it becomes very easy to hate them for that fact. However, Super Mario 35's brilliantly executed game mode does something that these other titles don't, namely that on top of punching you in the face through other players being absolute dicks, this also warps your nostalgia and makes your muscle memory betray you. To better explain, think of it like this. We've all played the original Super Mario Bros, right? Well, the opening few levels, they're ingrained into the public consciousness, so much so that we could likely do some of these stages blindfolded. However, thanks to every other player being able to flood your stages with enemies, you'll suddenly be on the back foot and having to react to once beautifully designed stages becoming absolute hellscapes filled with flying Koopa Troopers, endless Goombas, and even a Bowser or two to spice things up. It is absolute carnage, and while being a lot of fun, will leave you cursing every other player as you get swamped. Number 5. Superman 64. Oh, Superman, how could they do this to you? Quite possibly one of the most disappointing video games ever made, Superman 64 landed on Nintendo's big grey bastard with a thud thanks to its abysmal controls, utterly offensive visuals, and the small tiny fact that it was so broken that the game barely worked at the best of times. From the infamous ring sections to the unfair timers that gave you but a few seconds to figure out what the hell was going on, from start to finish, Superman 64 was a punishing experience. An experience made all the worse when you realise just how many copies of this game were sold in the year of its release, with a huge spike occurring around Christmas. Therefore, you might have had the pleasure of receiving this as a gift, meaning that you not only likely hate the developers for this utter trash pile, but quite possibly your parents for buying it for you in the first place. The gift that keeps on giving. Brill. Number 4. League of Legends. Oh me, oh my, how could a game this fun get such a loathsome reputation? Well, it turns out that no matter how well constructed your title is, at the end of the day, it's down to the community to breathe life into it, and League of Legends is certainly alive. But it's the sort of life that seems incredibly painful and angry, kind of like what I imagine the cleanup crew for a BDSM club on Piss Thursdays must feel like. Ask anyone around and they will tell you that League of Legends is an utterly brilliant game, but but only if you're playing with the right group of people, because the moment that you add strangers into the mix, well, the experience changes completely. Here, you'll be barked at for choosing the wrong character, about not specializing in the ways that others want you to, and you might even just be out and out pressured into playing a role that you really have no interest in for fear of being cussed out. It is a brutal and thoroughly miserable experience, and it's even worse for newcomers who might not even be able to separate the community from the game itself and end up hating both with just a few bad sessions. Number 3. Ark Survival Evolved. Survival, as the name might imply from this title, is front and center of this experience, and during your time with Ark, you'll see the myriad of ways to gather resources, build settlements, and arm yourself against the beasts that roam these lands. Or you might just get griefed from your very first moment by one of the roaming gangs of other players who seem to make it their life's mission to make newcomers feel as alienated as possible. There are stories that will chill your very blood when you hear them. Tales of not just murdering other players over and over, but drugging them, capturing them, and making them live as prisoners, using methods to keep the player from quitting out and starting again. It is a brutal experience if you're on the wrong side of things, and it seems that the only thing that has evolved on these shores is the cruelty with which veteran players operate on, a mindset that breeds hatred as well as inspiring it in others. Number 2, Party Hard. A bit of a light-hearted entry now, or as light-hearted as murdering people at a party can be, that is. Party Hard is a game which casts you in the role of an annoyed neighbour who just wants a bit of peace and quiet. Problem is that there's a massive rave going on nearby, and so you do what every sane individual would and sabotage the party hitman style in order to shut it down for good. It's a rather morbid concept, but one that is achingly fun to play thanks to its brilliant soundtrack, ingenious kills, and seat-of-your-pants gameplay. However, it all revolves around you hating people so very much that you'd be willing to kill them. It's a strange dichotomy to say the least, because you do genuinely end up hating the guests that rat you out to cops or put a dampener on your plans for peace, when in reality, you are very clearly the bad guy. And number 1, the Dark Souls franchise. Okay, so let's just set the scene here. So you've just trekked out into the murk, and as you've pushed further and further into hostile territory, you've confronted demons, devils, and other dirtbags at every turn. With skill and perseverance, you slice through each foe that steps up to the plate. But your health is dwindling. With supplies running out, you begin to panic and push blindly forwards in the hope of just a little bit of respite. And then you see it, a bonfire just waiting to be lit, waiting to provide a restock and a moment to rest. You surge forward, brushing off the reaching tendrils of the dark and its attempts to hold you back. With each heavy step, you feel your heart beating faster and faster until you feel it pounding in your chest. As you reach forward, fingers about to touch the bonfire, you shudder. Something isn't right. Something feels wrong. In fact, I'm pretty sure I didn't have a sword poking out of my chest. Oh, for fuck's sake, I've been invaded again, come on! This is Dark Souls Online. It's brutal, it's beautiful, it will tear your soul to pieces and wipe its ass with the remains, and you will hate everybody come the close of this trilogy. Yet I wouldn't change it for the world. Cheers. And there we go, my friends. Those were 8 video games that will make you hate everyone. I hope you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. If you want to chat to me further, you can do so over on Twitter at RetroJ with a 0, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice. It's my personal gaming channel where I stream every single Wednesday and Sunday. It'd be great to see you over there. But before I go, my friends, I just want to say one thing. We detailed today about video games that will make you hate everyone, but you know what? You should not hate yourself. You deserve love, happiness, and success. And I know I keep banging on about it, but it is incredibly important to realize. Don't beat yourself up for mistakes of the past. Don't carry them forward to make more mistakes in the future, and just give yourself a break, because you are nowhere near as bad as you may think you are. You, instead, are actually a big ledge, and go out there and smash it. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.